Here we go again!
I mean, your boobs are huge.
Elation and jubilation, gamers from all around the world. I am Lucian and this is the World Gamer Show. Thank you very much for clicking on this video, as today we're going to take a look at Neptunia Sisters vs Sisters. And I double dare you to say this name 3 times fast. Anyway, is this episode the real deal? The great, long-awaited comeback for the series? Or is it just a booby trap? Well, let's find out.
And do your best. Here I go!
Neptunia Sisters vs Sisters is a spin-off of the main Hyperdimension Neptunia series, which alters the gameplay from a strategy JRPG with emphasis on field positioning and focuses on a different cast of characters. Developed by Compile Heart, the game is from 2023 and was released on PlayStation 4, 5, Nintendo Switch and PC. A digital copy of the game for PlayStation 4 was provided by the publisher for review purposes. Now, with that out of the way, let's get into the meat of the game. I've been a fan of the series ever since the release of the first 3 games on the PS Vita. I've always loved the plot revolving around the parallelism between the real-world gaming industry and the in-game world, with each of the dominant gaming companies represented by a goddess. But even more, I love the turn-based strategy mechanics, which put great emphasis on character positioning and range of attacks. But we fans had it rough, as it seems the excellent Neptunia 7...
What?
No, don't worry. I know, it's V2, I'm just messing with you guys. Anyway, it seems the excellent V2, released in 2015, that we are not getting a proper new entry. It was spin-off after re-release and so on and so forth. And this Neptunia Sisters, as we will call it from now on because the full title doesn't exactly roll off the tongue, is also a spin-off. But it might actually be the closest thing to a good Neptunia game we ever got since V2. Sisters has a lot going for it, many great aspects and some admittedly not so great. So we have a lot to cover, but let's go in order.
What a thrill.
As I previously mentioned, one of the better aspects in the whole series are the story and characters. And Neptunia Sisters does not disappoint. In fact, the plot is really great, with a ton of thought-provoking allegories about today's society and the over-reliance on smartphones and how they affect our everyday lives and even the gaming industry itself. It even touches on the COVID pandemic and the AI controversies. I've rarely seen a plot with the balls to criticize so openly our modern society like this one. It's a parody, obviously, but one that makes me want to take my smartphone and lock it away and see how much I can resist without it. Spoiler alert, probably not that much. Oh, and it's also full of references to older games, so if you're a Neptunia fan, you will feel right at home. And it also offers a nice twist, because the protagonist is not Neptune herself, or any of the other main CPU goddesses, who are still present and playable, but the focus here is on their younger sisters, the CPU candidates, just like in the unforgettable MK2. Nepgear, Neptune's younger sister, awakes to a post-apocalyptic world after 2 years of being put into a deep sleep by what appears to be the new enemy of the game, the goddess of the R-phone smartphone gaming device, which threatens the very existence of the rest of the gaming industry. Moreover, Neptune is nowhere to be found. The story is awesome, full of mystery, comedy, and all the allegories that you've come to know and love in the Neptunia series. The exposition is done through a ton of reading, visual novel style, but it's great to see that all characters have very smooth animations and the English voice acting is actually pretty good too.
In a world centered around the R-phone, someone out there has managed to become a greater influence than Vert. Someone or something?
And you will read a ton in this game, so I'm very glad that the subtitles are big enough not to make you lose your vision over time, as it happens way too often nowadays. All of this is accompanied by some great music in line with the previous games. Just have a listen here.
What's wrong? We're not there yet, you know.
But all this would matter little if there was no good gameplay to sustain the experience. Unfortunately, this aspect holds up pretty decently, considering the change of direction from tactical RPG to action RPG. In fact, Neptunia Sisters does away with the turn-based mechanics, which at first I found unfortunate. I usually like my Neptunia games as intended, turn-based strategy RPGs. I'm a turn-based RPG guy, what can I say? I've already discussed something similar with the Final Fantasy series in this video here, which link you can find in the description, where I talked about how Final Fantasy ditched the turn-based mechanics for an all-out action focus, which I'm really sad about since I feel that we already have enough action games in my opinion. But opinions aside, I need to judge this game for what it is and not for what I wish it was. And thankfully, the combat system is solid enough. You can do regular attacks, combos, and even stop the action with the tactical pause to catch a breath and understand the situation, and from which you can also heal the party or launch skill attacks. There is even a nice 4-button shortcut function to which you can assign skills from the entire active party, which is nice, and still stops the action to let you comfortably select your target. Moreover, you can swap the characters you're controlling with the press of the upper shoulder buttons at any time, a feature also present in Action Unleashed, but far better implemented here, far snappier and helpful. Maybe too helpful. Let me elaborate on this one. The only real disappointing aspect of this combat system is its over-reliance on combo chains with other characters. The game constantly pushes you to chain combos with your party members by first initiating one yourself and then having the screen constantly flash at you an indicator to let the other member take over and continue the combo. At first it's exhilarating, but on the long run it can become a little repetitive. It is also far too powerful, which basically allows you to completely bypass the AP consumption, which should limit the amount of damage you can constantly deal with skills, and most importantly to the flow of the game, it pushes you to completely neglect the tactical pause, which I find it to be a pity. It's a little bit unbalanced, that's all I'm saying. Luckily, Neptunia Sisters allows you to customize your combo and maximize your passive stats through Disc's development. I just wish its impact was felt a little bit more during battles. The real fun though begins with tougher enemies encounters, where you are finally actually forced to strategize a little more, reading enemy movements to predict squad obliterating attacks and things like that. But for all this to happen, I highly suggest you to use mostly melee characters, no fighters from a distance. Don't buy any upgrades or gear or whatever, and possibly underlevel yourself as much as you can. Like, avoid regular confrontations in the beginning, after of course having learned the basics. Only then, with a little bit of self-constraint, the game unleashes its true strategic and fun potential. Especially again, thanks to its tactical pause, that allows you to stop the action and get a little bit of relief from the constant button mash combo chaining. So yeah, taken in short bursts and approached with a little bit of self-constraint, this game can be actually quite fun. At least in my case, underleveling and having a greater challenge, unfortunately no difficulty select screen, helped immensely in enjoying my time with Neptunia Sisters. The dungeons vary in style and graphical dress, but some map layouts are copy-pasted more often than I would hope, hugely contributing to the sense of repetition. Like in this case, just look, it's clearly the same layout, just copy-pasted. Like what the heck, did they think nobody would notice?
Here we go.
Fortunately, the developers added some variety later in the game, with some environmental puzzles that go a little beyond the press switch, doors open fetish that this game seems to have. So you will be rewarded for pushing through. The graphics are awesome when it comes to character and enemies models, which are very detailed and very well animated, but are bare bone when it comes to the environment, with textures constantly changing their level of details in plain sight. Just take a look at these textures here, loading in and out as I walk back and forth. It is honestly distracting, but the environments do their best to look good in the big picture, even made me wow at some point. Even the particle effects during battles are gorgeous to look at. Unfortunately, this takes its toll on performance, with some evident stuttering here and there, at least on PS4. Yes, it's not the current gen console, but this is honestly not a demanding game for what's on offer, technically speaking. I mean, it's a budget game, sold at a budget price, so production quality-wise, I need to be fair and level my expectations. The game should take you roughly 20 hours to complete, which can of course be extended with a ton of optional and post-game content, like the tower and the numerous side quests, even though these are mostly about material gathering or go kill a certain amount of enemy type. Overall, Neptunia Sisters shows its budget nature. It has some glaring technical flaws, but many great aspects too, like the great thought-provoking story. Still, in all honesty, I feel that gameplay-wise, this is still behind the classic series. So to answer the question posed at the beginning of the video, is this Neptunia Sisters the great comeback for the series? Well, I wouldn't go that far. But still, if there is something that Sisters has in common with the rest of the series, that is soul. And no technical hiccups seem to be able to scratch this simple fact. If that's enough for non-fans of the series to finally jump on board, well, again, I'm not sure. If you were not a fan of Neptunia before, this game will do absolutely nothing to change your mind. But Neptunia fans will find plenty to like here. But beware, MK2 or even Victory, this is not.
Let's connect! No one can stand up to my beauty.
But this is just one guy's opinion on the internet, so now I want to know yours down in the comments. Did you play this game? What did you make of it? Was I too harsh in my criticism? What's your favorite game in the series? But most importantly, what's your favorite goddess in the series? Share your thoughts in the comment section down below, and if you enjoyed this video, feel free to leave a like and subscribe. This way you will always be up to speed with my latest content, and you will also help a fellow gamer out. For you it's just few buttons away, but for me it is a really big help. Come on, it's free. But really, I just want to thank you so much for spending some of your precious time watching this video to the end. I will be seeing you in my next one, but until then, stay safe, play safe, world gamers.